IRS visiting your home or business. Direct Tax Relief has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. We also offer a price protection guarantee so you don't overpay. Don't procrastinate any longer. The consultation is free. The call is free. 800-643-4661. 800-643-4661. That's 800-643-4661.
As Iraqi forces close in on ISIS fighters in the city of Mosul, an audio message from ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has been released online. He urges his followers to wage total war against the enemy, saying, "Make their blood flow like rivers." More from correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The Pentagon says the audio is quite clearly an effort by ISIS to communicate to its fighters, and excellent evidence that its ability to communicate and control its fighters has been severely reduced. The U.S.-led coalition has been targeting ISIS communications. One military official says this is an attempt by ISIS to rally its troops, who are under constant pressure now.
Hours after the message, a vehicle packed with explosives sped out of an ISIS-controlled area in Mosul toward Iraqi special forces. They destroyed the vehicle and killed its driver with a rocket. 2 members of the U.S. military advising Afghan forces have been killed in a battle with the Taliban near the northern city of...
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and
Here's what advertisers are saying about AM 1240. HotNewsTalkRadio.com.
Radio station, they really care. They're always calling me probably once a week, checking on me, seeing how things going, see if they want to change any of the ads or do anything different, seeing what my needs are. I've gotten business off the ads that you do for me, and seems to be working well at this point.
Prices were very fair. Areas in this town that we aren't able to get other ways, your radio station is able to help us out, and I really appreciate that.
We've been very pleased with the services we've got. It seems like everybody over there cares about what they're going to do, how it's going to work for us on this end, and we've been very impressed with the creativity of the ads that we've heard, and they always seem to be right on point, even without us having to come up with what's going to be said.
I've been doing business with News Talk Radio for quite some time. It's the best place and the best value you can get for your advertisement. The commercials are great. They're very professional. I was actually blown away.
The commercial that they put together was awesome. It was way far above all the other radio stations we've dealt with. The best we've had yet, guarantee you, by far.
AM 1240, HotNewsTalkRadio.com gets results. Let us get results for your business. For no obligation free consultation, call General Sales Manager Steve Johnson. Call 423-240-5459. That's 240-5459. Or you can always email Steve at NoogaRadioSteve@gmail.com. That's NoogaRadioSteve@gmail.com. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We get results.
Here we are.
Comfy Lounge.
We're back.
It's about that time, too.
Where's my pipe?
I left mine at my house, unfortunately. I have 2 pipes, believe it or not. So one of them is virgin, never used. So if you ever decide to take up pipe smoking, I've got one.
Fair enough. Will do. I'll take you up on that event.
All
right. Furthermore, this is Two Millennials Talk.
Bonjour. I'm Russell Stroud.
Oh,
sorry.
I felt like I cut you off in the introduction there.
You kind of, well, I thought you were pausing for me, and I realized you weren't, so I stopped myself.
Which was a good catch until we explained it all.
Until you said you caught yourself, but whatever.
So we have some stories for you today.
That's the code for we have no idea what to get to first.
Yes.
Lots of news today. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Right. Where do we begin?
Why don't you begin with your first topic? I always begin. You begin.
Okay. So basically, I was covering a sports story earlier this week.
Okay.
And
quite a few,
but one specifically about the Tennessee running back who's transferring away.
Now, Tennessee, what?
The Vols.
Vols, okay.
Yep, UTK.
UTK, okay. Because there's like 8 different Tennessee teams in football you could be talking about.
There is, and I realize we're a podcast now, so I can't be that vague. Typically, when you say Tennessee, Tennessee, around here, everyone's pretty.
I think we shouldn't be overt about the fact that I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying we shouldn't be like overt about the fact that we're a podcast, in the sense that yes, we are, but we're still also on the air, so we shouldn't break the on the air rules
Fair enough.
But we are in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so if you want to come and kill us, it's not too hard. We're out in the open.
I have no security.
I am my own security, so
for better or worse on that one. So the Tennessee Vols, their running back, Jalen Hurd, is transferring away.
Okay.
And of course, Vols fans are upset and mad, and they feel betrayed by him and all of these great sports things.
Where's he transferring to?
Not known just yet.
Oh, okay.
It is the middle of the season, which is one of the reasons for the outrage, but also one of the reasons why he hasn't had to declare where he's going next. So people are trying to explain his decision and why it is that he's doing what he's doing, including his parents on social media.
Oh, no.
And so his mom wrote this thing on Facebook, and his stepdad made one of those awkward car videos. And that reminds me.
Oh, I've done a few of those too.
I mean, were they funny though?
Well, they were for news, so.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not that car videos are bad. There's just a point at which it's just, if you are making a car video to explain your son's decision to transfer to another school, and he's not involved in the video in any way,
you're telling people the consequences will never be the same
because they backtraced it.
Yeah, backtraced it.
So you're sitting in the car and he's not present, and you're trying to give the breakdown on, look, this is what the team promised my son, and all of these things.
No.
Why? Like, what do you gain out of that? What does your son gain out of that?
Yeah.
Like, certainly this only looks worse for Jalen Hurd, not better, to have his parents just all over social media just defending him, or trying to defend him, really not actually successfully doing so.
Now, this is college football too.
Yes.
So this means he's not only transferring, he's like changing schools.
He's changing schools. He'll probably, because of the NCAA rules, he'll probably have to sit out a year before he's eligible to actually play again.
So this doesn't sound like a move that's necessarily in his favor for a football career.
It is and it isn't. He personally believes that the school is not, the way they run the offense is not conducive to the way that he plays.
Yeah.
And because he wants to have good film out for NFL scouts, staying with the Vols would not be the best idea for him. He wants to go to a school that plays more of his style and all of those things. And I can't really fault him for that. But I can fault his parents for their horrible use of social media.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm also not a fan of people who just get on social media and complain.
And talk about people who are not in on the conversation. That's the other thing.
Right.
Because like if my mom, if I screwed up real bad, my mom shouldn't say anything about that on social media, especially if it's a professional thing. Like, Russell found cheating in the news or something. I don't know what I could do.
Like if you plagiarized.
Yeah, like copy and pasting an AP article. That's a big deal. But why in the world would my mom get on Facebook like, Russell may have made some mistakes in his life, but he's a good boy? It's like, of course you're going to say that. You're my mom.
Right. Just trying to clear a few things up.
Yeah.
Which immediately, by the way, muddies the waters further. It clears up nothing. It just provides another thing that the media can use to take this story and divide it into 12 different angles.
Especially if you read like the tabloids as you're going through like Food Lion, or I guess it's Food Lion, Food City, and you see like, Jalen Hurd's mom speaks out on social media. That doesn't look very good.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, someone took a screenshot of the Facebook post. I don't even know if it's still up. And I read it, and it was just as typical your mom on Facebook thing that there is.
Was it signed Meemaw at the end?
Oh, I wish.
XOXO Meemaw.
I absolutely wish. That would have made my life.
Was it in all caps with way too many ellipses? Just wanted to let y'all know about what my son Jalen Hurd did. ...
I wish. She did type it out like a normal person types things typically.
That's not very fun.
But it started with wanted to clear a few things up about my son.
Oh no.
Nobody asked you. It's Facebook.
What if someone what if a family member or like a family friend convinced Jalen Hurd's mother, like, you really ought to post something on Facebook about this? And she was having her apprehensions, and then her friend
they pushed her into
it was like, no, you really should, Mrs. Hurd. Just talk about it.
Fair enough. I mean, like that would be absolutely ridiculous. But like, there's so many.
They have a PR firm. It's like Jalen Hurts' mom. You have to address this issue on social media. It's imperative.
But it's at least she was direct in that. But like, it reminds me of all of the other things that I hate about social media, like people being just absolutely petty and passive aggressive in the worst ways.
Well, that's people in general, though. It's just amplified on social media.
I suppose, and I guess it's amplified when you're a professional athlete, which is what I end up reading the most of. I remember when Cleveland, the Cavaliers, the basketball team, they were struggling during the season, and LeBron was just like putting on Instagram a bunch of vague, cryptic stuff about his other teammates and just, hey, you. And it's LeBron, so he's just corny as all get out. And it was just like, oh, don't fit out, fit in. And it's everybody knows he's talking about Kevin Love, who is kind of not playing well and ostracized from the team. We all know it's him. Everybody knows it's him, but no, it's LeBron doing this, and you're just like, okay.
Would it be would it be worse or better if LeBron called him out, like by name?
I think in this case it would be better if LeBron called him out by name, because he's not saying like you're not playing well. He's not calling out his specific play.
Yeah,
he's just saying, as far as our team dynamic goes, we'd like to see more of you.
And we're talking about LeBron, right?
Yes.
Well, LeBron's like, this is just my outsider perspective, but LeBron seems like he's old enough, like he's been in the sport long enough to sort of be like the Michael Jordan father figure thing, where like he could talk to any other player who's like not beneath him, but not as experienced as him, in sort of like a one-on-one way on social media, and people wouldn't take that as offensive. He's just like, this is my experience. This is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong on that, and I think that makes a perfect amount of sense. That being said, LeBron is definitely more father figure than Michael Jordan ever was, because Michael Jordan was not a nice person.
Well, I would just think of him as most of my exposure to him is in Space Jam. So he was very nice in Space Jam, and he had kids in that too.
That's true. We're gonna have exposure to that with LeBron James in Space Jam too.
Actually, yeah. So maybe LeBron James will do a better Space Jam than Michael Jordan did, but I couldn't.
Debatable.
Yeah.
So that's my story there. That whole thing that just upsets me and infuriates me. I had a friend that was telling me a story about a post that he saw on Facebook that triggered him. Where he had a friend that was basically like, I'm tired of random hookups. I'm building an empire, and I need a queen to help me. And I'm like, look, while all of that actually makes sense, you are building an empire while working at a fast food restaurant. Possibly before you start talking about who will join you in your empire, lay the foundation of that first.
Maybe it's a weed dealing empire.
Possibly.
I was I tweeted about this a long time ago, and Keon, we should promote our Twitters, by the way. I think.
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your Twitter account?
My Twitter handle is @SportsCloud.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. You also have to type in the laughter. I'll let you figure out how to do that.
Russell_haha. My Twitter handle is radio_Russell, which you are free to laugh at because it's very unimaginative.
It's very unimaginative, but I've seen so many media Twitter handles that are basically just the person's name and where they work.
Yeah.
So at this point, I can't even really laugh at it. It's like, oh, James Dolan, Times Free Press.
Yeah.
Or James Dolan, TFP. And you're just like, okay, yep.
Well, mine's just radio in general. So if I change where I work, which is not very likely, then
it will still apply.
It still works. People can still follow me. They'll be like, who's Russell, whatever stations in Atlanta.
That's true. Because I remember George Sedano used to work at Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
And then he jumped ship to ESPN, and then he had to change his Twitter handle again and get that one to be the certified one.
Colin made a good move with it. Colin Cowherd made a good move with his Twitter account because it's been The Herd and Colin Cowherd, the two separate ones. Mm-hmm. He didn't add like ESPN or FS1 at the end of either one, so that helped him a lot.
Yep. You make the transition, and you basically don't have to change anything, which the less stuff you have to change.
Clever. Keep your branding consistent. But something, social media reminded me. We have the political season coming up. So actually the political season has been going on all this year.
We have the end of the political season coming up.
Well, to add sort of an addendum to your riff about social media, I'm really tired of people who are not, I don't want to say not political actors, because you can talk about whatever the heck you want on social media, but I'm really tired of like people giving their political opinions that are not very original at all on social media and then acting all high and mighty and progressive about them. Like, if you follow any movie or music reviewers online, except for like Anthony Fantano, who's been pretty quiet about it, actually. He's been very coy, which I appreciate. Like all of them, for some odd reason, feel the need to also review the election and give their opinion on the election. It's like, dude, I never asked for this. Nobody asked for this.
No, you are, and I'm not saying you have to be in politics to say things politically.
No, not at all.
But social media, because you do not have to be particularly informed to say anything at all.
Yeah.
If you are a movie reviewer and you feel like reviewing the election, you don't have to be particularly informed on the election. And I don't care what your opinion is if you're not informed.
There's one particular guy I have in mind. I don't want to call him out or anything because, who cares? But, he can say whatever he wants. But
maybe I'm just a sports guy, like I call people out.
yeah, I'm a journalist, so I don't really feel like calling people out.
Fair enough.
But I don't want to get in feuds with people because that's the last thing I need.
I burn all my bridges.
Yeah. But this particular guy, he used to work for that guy with the glasses ages and ages and ages ago. If you remember that whole thing. In fact, he probably still does because that's his prerogative. But whatever, I would have jumped that ship 3 years ago. But he's that's a fire ship right there. He constantly is talking about how bad conservatives are and all that kind of thing, which you can do, obviously. Conservatives believe in your right to talk bad about conservatives. But he keeps doing it like every day, and he doesn't talk about what he normally talks about on Twitter. He doesn't even talk about movies or games or anything. He just talks about politics. It's like, are you a political person now? Are you a pundit?
If you go back to talking about games and movies, like the political stuff never happened,
yeah,
that will make me angrier than anything that there is to know.
It's like Patton Oswalt is so obnoxious on Twitter. Like, he's a funny guy, but he is the most annoying person on Twitter because he's just tweeting about, like, this is why, this is my Patton Oswalt, this is why Donald Trump is bad.
I mean, did you ever see Patton Oswalt do his Star Wars rant or his Star Wars filibuster in Parks and Rec? Because that's pretty much what he sounds like.
Yeah, basically, except it's about how bad Donald Trump is. That's just his whole spiel. Okay. It's so original.
I watch shows like Last Week Tonight where John Oliver, obvious bias there,
right,
towards Hillary and away from Donald Trump.
Yeah,
but at least there is some nuance there. That it's not just, Donald Trump's a bad person, don't vote for him.
Yeah.
It's, here's a list of reasons why. And then maybe if you agree or disagree, whatever. And also, I'm not going to fail to mention Hillary's indiscretions as well.
Right.
Because he's an informed political person. Albeit with humor, not necessarily that he's an actual journalist, which,
right,
if you watch that show for the news, you have a problem.
You are a complete idiot if you do that.
And not just for the jokes. But regardless.
It's comedy. It's like watching King of the Hill to get the scoop on Texas.
Even though that is fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Regardless, I appreciate that he's like, okay, I do the research on this and I come in with numbers and facts and figures, agree, disagree, whatever. Your friend on Facebook or Patton Oswalt or I can't even think of a person off the top of my head right now, but just any YouTube reviewer that you follow that's got social media that feels the need to weigh in on the political election or other actors and actresses.
Yeah.
You people are not informed political persons, and I do not care what you think or who you are voting for. Please stop telling me. I did not ask, and I do not want to know.
I do have, now that you think of it, now that you mention it, I know I'm reading your thoughts, Keon. Now that you mention it, I do have one exception. Sam Hyde is really, really funny in every respect. And
his life is the humor.
And yeah, but he's really funny about the election too. Like, his commentary on politics is hilarious because it's so over the top and so overblown.
What's some of the stuff that he said?
Well, he talked about, he talks about like the Illuminati, and he talks about Lena Dunham. His whole spiel about Lena Dunham is my favorite thing ever because he says that Lena Dunham has put death threats against him. And he said, I'm not threatening Lena Dunham, but if she ever comes near me, I might have to defend myself against her. It's great. Like, it's the genius behind it.
It's hilarious on multiple levels.
My gosh.
The one level is that Lena Dunham was obviously not threatening Sam Hyde. The second level of it is the idea of Lena Dunham attacking anybody ever.
Well, she will on Twitter, though, if you don't find her attractive.
That's true. She'll just whip out at Odell Beckham Jr. for not looking at her.
It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, who cares, dude? How narcissistic are you that you think people need to look at you? But then if he looked at her, she'd be like, he was objectifying me.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Like, I get feminism, and that's great. People should be equal, but there's a line to be drawn here at how much you can scrutinize a person and still say it's about equality.
which the line, feminists, every single one of them, all of them, have crossed that line ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about equality, too, which is why I would consider myself an egalitarian and not a feminist. Because I'm about equality for everybody. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
That's why there are some men's rights. There are things that men don't have equality in, like child custody.
Like giving birth?
I'm not gonna lie, women can keep that one. That's fine. I don't want that one.
I don't want all my bones broken.
we don't need equality in that. You can keep that one.
We have worse fevers than women do.
Do we?
That's not fair. It's true, actually. Men have like way worse fevers than women do.
Is there a scientific reason as to why? Because that's pretty interesting.
It's something about like we're hot-headed naturally, like literally, and then fevers just make it worse or something like that. I don't remember.
Huh.
Yeah. So if you ever want to lord something over your wife or girlfriend, that's the one to use. I have a fever, honey. I'm sorry. I just can't do it right now.
Really? Yeah, my fever's worse than yours. So
excuse me. Do you have fevers every month? Because I don't think so. I do.
So I'm gonna need you to back up.
Can we just hold on? Can we just not do this right now? Because I'm seriously, I'm having a fever right now. I had a long day at work. It's just not working for me right now. I need some alone time. Bye-bye.
I will defend myself against you and Lena Dunham. Both of you.
Listen, I love you, but if you come up at me, if you approach me threateningly, I will have to defend myself.
I don't.
This is why my honeymoon's going to be a disaster.
She can't. It was a bear hug, but I thought it was something more than a bear hug. It looked a little bit more aggressive.
I mistook intimacy for threats, physical threats. So I have an idea.
Okay.
And it's such a short idea that it's good. It's perfect for where we are right now.
Okay.
AliExpress is one of my favorite retail outlets ever.
How could it not be?
Online, yeah.
It's glorious.
Go to AliExpress.com like immediately if you haven't already. You can buy stuff. I don't mean you right now.
I am going to go there just to see what's up there.
I'm talking to the listener, but you can as well, Keon. Go to AliExpress.com right now. You can buy like tons of cheap crap, and I'm not being paid by them to say that, but it's just cheap stuff that ships to you from China. I bought a lanyard for the new flash drive I bought for 53 cents, shipped from China for free. It's kind of amazing. But I have an idea. Their clothes are so ridiculous that this is my favorite idea now. I want to go around UTC college campus because we live right near there. And I want to ask people, because you have a digital recorder and I don't, I want to ask people how much their wardrobe costs them. And this is actually a ploy that's been done before. I want to ask them how much their wardrobe costs them, and they'll give, $100, $200 because they buy, American Eagle crap. And I'm going to say, well, this whole outfit cost me about $100. The shirts, AliExpress, I'm talking like the underwear, socks, shoes, jacket. Wow. Yeah. Like I want everything bought on AliExpress, but I want it to be the most English stuff I can get. So like the shirt will say like, kill everybody tomorrow, thank you, with a little smiley face. And the jacket will say like, made in Japan, Tokyo. The shoes will be Converse copies. The socks will have like Hello Kitty, but with the wrong colors. I'm gonna go all in with my Chinese. All in with my. I'm gonna go Ali in with my alley-oop into my Chinese wardrobe.
That'd be pretty cool.
I've had this idea stewing in my head for a long time. Conceptually, like saying it out loud doesn't sound as funny as it will be when we do it. And we should probably film it too. That'd probably be a good idea.
That'd be a good idea. We might have to be out there for a while to really get the best of it.
Yeah.
But trust me, there'll be some great responses.
I've got nothing better to do, so
we're gonna make this happen.
Yes, it must happen.
You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Two Millennials Talk. Just because the Cubs won the World Series yesterday, I pulled up the Chris Bryant postseason jersey. $40 on AliExpress.
Really? That's kind of cheap, actually.
Which, I don't know if you've been to MLB.com and tried to buy the comparable Chris Bryant jersey.
I've not.
Not $40.
Heavens.
How about 3 times that?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
$4,000.
It's,
I can't do math.
Oh boy, he can't into numbers. But that's okay, because next up we're going to talk about Lil Wayne, a guy who can't into something else.
Anything else.
Anything else.
Rap included.
You're hurting me, baby.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
A $500 gift card. $500? What? That's right, Funky. A $500 gift card from a store of your choice. The agents at Exit Realty Scenic City are confident they can sell your house. They can do it in 99 days or less. If your listing proves a slowpoke, they will give you a $500 gift card. No one works harder for you than agents at Exit Realty Scenic City. Licensed in Tennessee and Georgia. Exit sells quickly all types of commercial and residential properties and vacant land. Looking for a dream home, or maybe you're just a first-time home buyer? Let an agent get you started today on your house search. If you're a real estate agent looking for a change, see what Exit can do for you. Training, technology, branding, culture, and financial freedom. Again, Exit Realty Scenic City. Call 423-551-EXIT to learn more. Call 423-551-EXIT and learn more. Terms and restrictions may apply.
Cash, 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 and more cash. Rick Davis has the cash when you sell gold, silver, diamonds, rings, and jewelry. Sell Rick your precious metals today and lock in your price. Hey, Rick Davis will trade your cash for shiny, brilliant, and heavy gold. Gold cheaper now by $100 an ounce. Join the Rick Davis Silver Bonanza too. Prices so low, the Lone Ranger is bound to gallop in, Kimosabe. Hey-ho, silver, away! The markets are changing, so buy now. Cash, 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 and more cash for your silver and gold, gold, gold. Rick Davis, 5301 Brainerd Road. That's 5301 Brainerd Road. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Oh, and cash, cash, cash. You know where it is. Hey-ho, silver, away!
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Trade Bank. Call now to get access to nearly 400 local businesses. Trade Bank. Call 877-2202. 877-2202. Trade Bank. You want to increase your cash flow, your competitive edge, attract new customers, and build a loyal customer base. You need Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call right now. 877-2202. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, TradeBank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want with our wide variety of Trade Bank partners. For almost 30 years, Trade Bank has been your voice for small business, a member of the American Bankers Association, and in good standing with you. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation, 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
Expect some clouds with a spotty shower sprinkle possible through your nighttime. Don't expect much, though. Overnight lows into the lower to middle 50s. For Friday, more sunshine, low breeze out of the north. Not as warm, but comfortable highs lower to middle 70s with more sunny and pleasant weather for the weekend. Get your home in shape for the season with huge savings right now at Lowe's, where you'll find great deals on all of your winter needs. So hurry into your neighborhood store today to make your home happy all season long at Lowe's. And I'm Gene Schwalls, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Hot News Talk 1240. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. With your chance to win $124 in cash and $124 in food every week with the Hot News Talk Radio 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest. Hot News Talk 1240. All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Diesel Off-Road Technology Saudi Daisy for your four-wheel drive and truck needs. Stuff and upholstery with premium rubber foam. Amigos Mexican Restaurant next to Staples and Hickson. Drink specials during the race. Cell Surgeon, the Broken Screen Doc. And Shooter's Supply, 4824 Hickson Pike in Hickson. Hot News Talk 1240. Enter your guesses now and listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station. Hot News Talk 1240. I love NASCAR.
Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. A gunman burst into a Cleveland Cash Advance location, robbing the store clerk and making off with an undisclosed amount of money. The clerk was not harmed, but the gunman is still on the loose. The Chattanooga City Council has announced it will be meeting early on the historic Election Day on Tuesday. Instead of meeting at 6 p.m., they'll be meeting at 4 p.m. That was unanimously approved by all the City Council people. Early voting coming to a close soon, but record numbers have been turned out for the election stations here in Hamilton County, and CARTA will be offering free bus rides on Election Day. The Hamilton County School Board is set to choose a new superintendent soon, and today they might actually choose Superintendent Cupelli as the new superintendent. Currently, he's the interim. This could also save the money on hiring a search firm, as the superintendent could be right there in their own office. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Gas prices holding steady. Like us on Facebook, get us on TuneIn.
Martin Truex Jr. is off the pace and he is headed to the pit lane. Elliott Powers around the outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station. Hot News Talk 1240. The voice of NASCAR.
This is Two Millennials Talk. We're back.
Yo.
And
yeah.
You know, I'm trying not to just jump into straight filler.
We got a lot
Where
to
do
get
we go
to.
next?
We got a lot to get to. Got a lot to get to today.
Because I know I caught myself the other day trying to figure out where I was going to start on the sports show. And I said it like 3 times. There's lots to talk about.
You got to jump in. Here's a radio tip. You got to
jump right in.
Dude. That's what I do. Like when I do binary, I don't even think about what I'm going to say next. You just jump in, because when you've been doing it as long as we have, you can just jump into pretty much anything, like verbally.
And I usually do.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of sports to talk about and not enough time to talk about all of these sports. So it's like, oh, where do I go first? Because I need to use all this time properly and efficiently and all of that.
Well, here's a radio tip. For you both, if you are a listener and maybe you're working on public speaking, here's a tip for you and for you too, Keon, because we could all use some tips. I've just been doing this for way too long. Start out by saying there's a lot going on in sports news today, just like what's happening here with Lil Wayne. See, and that's how you transition. You don't say, like, we got a lot to get to today. Lots to talk about today.
Lots to talk about here. Just rummaging around on my desk, looking through my notes.
There's a lot to get to.
Where do I start? That's a stat. That's actually not my headline. That's fine.
Oh, shoot.
I don't think I've ever had a day that bad, but
I have.
It's coming.
Once you get to be as old as I am, it'll happen.
Grizzled war veteran.
Grizzled veteran of back in 4 years ago, we had to scream off of mountains. We didn't have microphones. So Lil Wayne's got himself into a bit of a tussle with the media and with everyone else. And I may have a bit of a different perspective on this than you do, but what's your take on Lil Wayne and his stance on life, particularly black life?
A couple of different things. One thing in which Lil Wayne was talking about how the Black Lives Matter movement really doesn't have anything to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me read the Lil Wayne quote.
Yeah, it's hard. You have to read it because I can't understand what he says. His voice, by the way, have you seen the video of him talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
His speaking voice is the most gravelly thing compared to his rapping voice, where he's all up there. Now, like when he does his when he talks to them, he's like, I don't even know. That doesn't have anything to do with me.
I don't know what happened to Lil Wayne's voice.
All that purple drank.
Yep. Scissor. It'll get you.
All that scissor.
It'll get you. So this is what Lil Wayne said to Nightline.
Okay.
I'm getting this quote from USA Today.
Okay.
I don't feel connected to a damn thing. That ain't got nothing to do with me, the rapper told Nightline in a recent interview. He added he was young, black, and rich. My life matter, especially to my bleep, he said, winking at the camera.
Which is possibly the best thing I've ever seen on television.
My favorite part is that he winked at the camera. Had the presence of mind.
My favorite part of this interview, he called out he called out the interviewer. Like the interviewer who's sitting there talking to him is, I think, from ABC. And he's very cordial to the camera person, but not to the interviewer. Did you notice that in the interview?
I didn't get to see the interview. I read quotes mostly.
Oh, okay.
But that is pretty funny. But I think that's just kind of the nature of being combative to the media.
Yeah.
In the same way that if you got your car towed, you would be mad at the towing company, not the guy that came and towed your car.
Unless you're just a real jerk, yeah.
And then I guess you could just be Aaron Andrews and just explode and be mad at everybody. But typically, you get upset with the company.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, towing companies, especially the kind that tow your car, I morally disapprove of your existence. But I wouldn't get mad at the tow guy. He's just doing his job. Same thing with the camera guy. He's just considered to be doing his job.
Yeah.
The media member, you're getting something from this interview, especially if you're interviewing Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Who one could argue is washed up. You could definitely make that argument. I would make that argument.
He's definitely his skateboarding career is definitely over.
He's past his prime in a lot of things.
You seen video of him doing that? It's really bad.
Like he just was going to start a skate career.
Yeah.
In his late 20s.
I like that. Like, I just imagine the fact that, like, the scenario of him going to like Tony Hawk, being like, "Hey Tony, I just got an idea for a skate career, and I was thinking about getting into skating a little bit." And Tony Hawk is like, "I'm sorry, dude. Like, I just watched a video of you skating, and it's not happening.
It's not great." I've been skating since I was 15. I didn't wake up and do this morning. Earlier than 15, really.
Tell you what, though, your music could be in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 if you want to do that.
Yeah, always welcome. But the stuff from the Carter 3, nothing after that.
Yeah, no.
So yeah,
Zach Carter.
My thoughts on Lil Wayne and his opinions on the whole movement. It's just, first off, Black Lives Matter. I know that their name is Black Lives Matter. They don't speak for everybody.
Right.
So presumably Black Lives Matter really doesn't have everything to do with everybody.
Right.
And the whole purpose of the movement is just, it looks like black people are being overlooked. A lot of black people would say again. And just a pleasant reminder here, we exist and we're still good people.
Yeah.
So, if it looks like we're being disproportionately killed by the police, I think that this should stop because our lives matter too.
That's a fair enough statement.
So the movement really doesn't have anything to do with any individual black person. It's just about the value of life that the black community sees itself as a whole. As where Lil Wayne goes on about how, he doesn't really care. It's not like Lil Wayne and or his music have done anything to completely further the black community anyway.
Unlike the works of NWA.
Right. But really, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because NWA got people to see what was happening inside of places like Compton.
But yeah, I say that without any irony.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't really think to use that example, though. That is the perfect example. When you do music correctly, people are trying to use this to connect to you, to try and understand you and where you come from. And while Lil Wayne, when he was at his peak, was considered the greatest rapper alive, and while the Carter 3 is still considered by many to be a masterpiece and one of the best rap albums ever made, neither that album or anything that followed or preceded it really is an album that is telling you what it's like to be black and helping anybody understand your plight. And it doesn't have to. Right. I'm not telling you this is what music has to do. I'm just saying you and your music haven't done that. If a group of people want to do something about that, I don't think you have the right to criticize.
Well, it's like every time a white person makes a song, it doesn't have to be Beethoven. It doesn't have to be the pinnacle.
Right.
It doesn't have to mean anything.
And even if it's not like the pinnacle, it doesn't necessarily have to be about your culture and where you're from. It could just be about you personally. Or
here's my album about Bavaria and what it is to be Bavarian.
Right.
And how we're misunderstood, especially after the events of World War II. Just the misunderstanding that happened between our cultures, I think, is just a shame.
Is a reference in a Mike Snow song, if you ever want to check that out.
But I do now, actually.
Anyhow, yeah, you don't have to do that, or One of my favorite rappers is A$AP Rock. He is a white rapper. Just not that it matters, but people do feel ways about that. But he's a guy that will openly admit the stuff that he raps about. Sometimes you'll go to genius.com or whatever the lyric site is, and nobody knows what that line is. And he said, like, some of the stuff only has significance to me. Like, I'm the only person that understands what that means. That's it.
Well, that's fine, though.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, well, my entire culture understand it, if that's what you want, but it doesn't have to be that. And so I'm not saying Lil Wayne has to be that. But I am saying that since you didn't do that, don't criticize others for trying to do something else.
My deal with Lil Wayne here is less of a deal and more of like an interest, because I never really had much of an opinion of Lil Wayne. I hadn't really listened to anything of his. I don't really know a whole lot about him as a person. I know he has kids, and I know that he loves his kids, and I think that's great. Just from interviews with him, it seems like he's actually not a bad dad, and I think that's awesome. But the whole thing, like, that's the extent of what I know about Lil Wayne as a person. But the thing with, I think it's entirely unfair to corner Lil Wayne and ask his opinion on Black Lives Matter when before, in other interviews, he said he doesn't really have anything to do with it, so don't ask him about it. Why would you then again corner him about that and be like, Lil Wayne, what's your opinion on Black Lives Matter? He's like, dude, I just said.
Right. No, and to me, even if Lil Wayne never said it,
yeah,
what did you want from this interview? Honestly.
You're expecting Lil Wayne to be like, yes, Black Lives Matter and the police are racist and all this kind of thing. You know, and I know that's not the entirety of the message of Black Lives Matter, but that seems like that's what the interviewer is expecting.
Right. Or to have, I mean, you realize you're interviewing Lil Wayne, right?
Yeah.
It's like that whole Stacey Dash thing.
Yeah.
What on earth did you expect her to say? That is not her arena. We were just talking about this with people on social media.
Yeah.
But if you're not informed to do that, don't do it. But if you're the media, that's really unfair to ask somebody something that they're not informed about and expect like this cogent response from them. Or if you thought you were going to interview Lil Wayne and he was going to say something stupid and hilarious, that is equally as unfair.
Yeah, and the thing with Lil Wayne too is, like, if you want to take it a step further, the unfairness, I'm not going to say it's racist because I don't think that that's the intention, but I think it is a little bit unsensitive or insensitive to talk to someone like Lil Wayne just because he's a prominent black rapper and expect him to have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. Because it seems like if he had an outspoken opinion about Black Lives Matter, he would have said something already.
Right. Like a guy like Killer Mike, who has said stuff about it before. Like,
sure.
If you interviewed Killer Mike about that would make perfect sense. Because Killer Mike has these political opinions, and he's had them for years.
Or anyone from Public Enemy. You expect that from them.
Correct.
Like Mike D, you know, has an opinion about it.
And that would be more fair. Like,
sorry, Chuck D.
If I forgive you.
Sorry about that. I knew that too. I just
you know, there are plenty of rappers, even athletes that you could understand. There's some athletes that if you interview LeBron James, he's going to have an opinion, and because LeBron's a pretty smart guy, it's going to be a pretty well thought out opinion.
Yeah,
you're not going to ask Tony Parker. He's French. He's not from here, and he doesn't care. Like, it's just how that is.
Yeah. Like, even if you want to take it a step further with you know, black athletes we're all familiar with, Magic Johnson, he's going to have an opinion about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because he has opinions about things.
Albeit that Magic Johnson's opinions are, like, Magic Johnson just doesn't want to offend anybody ever.
Yeah.
So he's not going to give you, like, his true, honest opinion. But you're not going to get anything that sounds crazy or ridiculous from Magic. He's going to give you an opinion, one that he's thought about before, and one that he's comfortable presenting in public. Lil Wayne said he doesn't want anything to do with this. He's never had anything to do with this. Why is that the first question that you ask him?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I think you're right. It's expecting something of him that he's not prepared to present. So why would you push the matter? Kind of dumb.
Yep.
Just a little bit dumb, a little bit insensitive. Because as a you know, a journalist myself, I got to say, like, that's not a question that I would ask.
No. It's
why?
Lacking in integrity a little bit.
Just a tad. I'm not saying that she's
not
a bad
entirely.
interview. Yeah.
Correct. I'm not calling her out.
No, I know you're not. Yeah. But yeah, it just seems a little bit odd. But speaking of the whole political thing, you know, coming up here soon, the next time we're here, in fact, we will have a new president-elect.
That's true. And it's going to happen between now and the next two millennials talk.
Which is kind of weird, actually.
Yeah.
We were at a pivotal point in American history, and we're just sort of riffing on it. It's kind of weird.
But here's the thing. at this point, I feel like you know where you are on this election.
Yeah.
So I don't mind riffing on it at this point.
Yeah.
Because all of the things that I've researched and looked up and thought about, I've already done it. You're not going to change my mind.
Yeah.
Who am I voting for?
Yeah.
I'm not voting.
Good for you, man. And you can do that.
I'm going to exercise my right to not vote.
Yeah, and you could do that, man. Like, that's the thing, is people go nuts about, like, oh, you gotta vote, What if you don't agree with either one of them? You don't have to vote. I mean,
Right.
You don't have to.
And I have been told, you are black, so you should vote.
What?
And I'm like, because what if I had been born, 80 years ago, I wouldn't have had the right to vote? No, that's not how this works. The right to vote, I have the right to vote.
Yeah.
If I so choose. I don't have to vote.
It's not the obligation to vote.
Exactly. Once upon a time, I would have to sit in the back of the bus. That doesn't mean that every time I get on a bus now I have to sit in the front. Like that, by that logic, it doesn't make any sense.
That era is gone, even though, we live in the South and some people say, well, that's still around. Like, the era's gone, man. Like, it's 21st century, dude. People don't care about that kind of thing anymore.
And I understand where there's racism that still exists. And
Sure.
I'm certainly not the person, if you've listened to the sports show, I harp on racism fairly frequently because it's very interesting to talk about. It makes for great radio.
And I like your perspective on it, too, because you're not, like, hard line about this is what you must think.
Personally believe that these are issues that always come with a degree of nuance that we tend not to bring to the table when we have these conversations. That particularly being said, I don't have to vote. I have the right to vote. I'm glad that people put their lives on the line so that I would have the right to. But if I look at everybody on the ticket, third parties included, and go, I have to choose the lesser of four evils here, I'm backing out.
Yeah, well, Spurgeon, one of our favorite theologians in my school of theology, once said, when given the choice between the lesser two evils, choose neither.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so there you go. There's some Charles Haddon Spurgeon for you. But one thing, too, is just to give my opinion on this in a nutshell, just the whole voting thing. I think disallowing someone from voting is a bad thing, but I think just as bad is forcing someone to do that exact same thing. It's all about choice.
Right. That's what America's about.
Yeah. You don't have to vote, man. Because in the United States, guess what? One of the best things about this country is you have choices. You don't have to do one thing or another in most cases. And you can always take the option of doing nothing. And that's your choice to make. No one should be able to tell you, hey, you have to do this or that. It's ridiculous that people do this. And they can say that, too. That's the other nice thing about America is I could tell you it's ridiculous that you're not voting. It wouldn't make any difference. But if I were the type of person to do that, I could tell you that. And you could disagree with me.
Right.
And no police are going to come in and arrest either of us for having our opinion about that.
That's what I like about radio in particular is that I'm just giving you my opinion.
Right.
And if you agree or disagree, I'd like you to call the show. I'd like you to, at Sports Cloud on Twitter, just send me a tweet, or someone sent me an email, which great memory because I haven't given out my email in like 3 months.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know even why I mentioned it in the first